we transitioned to -3, and we're gonna go with the UE control for our gas valve in conjunction with the hydrostat control. So this is the wiring diagram for the hydrostat control. So we got the hydrostat control. Now we got
Hydrostat was what took over for the old aquastats?
yeah, that's the whole aquastats in the gray box and stuff are gone
Yeah.
like with
The old boilers still have the aquastats. We'll go over that later.
Right.
But this is what took
This is what
control,
this-
the motherboard,
Well,
mother controls in a
that,
sense.
the 2112 first,
Right.
and
Right.
then eventually this.
Yeah.
Then eventually this.
So the old boilers that have the aquastats, that big gray control, these are the control boards that took place of those. Okay. Because everything's gonna have a motherboard.
So we
to
got
run
L1 and L2 and the ground for main power in. We got our circulator on C1, C2. Okay, the safeties are going out on B1. They go through the rollout switches over to the ignition control, because now the ignition control is separate from the boiler control. You got ignition control, you got boiler control. And the ignition control connects to the gas valve through the safeties to the boiler. And an optional indirect water heater tank if we wanted to use that too. We got an optional indirect water tank. All right? So 3-function control: universal temperature limit, low water cutoff, and boiler reset for temperature targeting. All right? So
that has a low water cutoff built in there.
yes.
Okay.
Yes. So utilizing thermostat activity to continually adjust the boiler temperature to minimum to requirement to meet the heat and load. We got a thermal boosts in 10-degree increments at set intervals. So this is a little higher functioning control. This got a little bit different nuances. And we got an auto reduce also, so this is gonna save them some money, right? So it auto reduces 5 degrees with every new call, and it reduces 5 degrees every 30 minutes if there's no call for heat. So it's gonna save you money. This is a more energy efficient control than the old PERS stuff that we had before. So here's the dial that we set it up. This is important for you guys to know. And this is gonna be on how many zones that you have connected to this boiler, where you set this dial. So we got choices between off, operates as a current hydrostat, so off doesn't utilize this, and low provides the minimal efficiency, so that if you had you're looking to maintain this big loop and stuff, you don't want this thing doing these tricks, we turn it to low. If we got one zone, this is kind of how it targets. We'll explain this a little further as such. Okay, so the subtractive differential on off is going to be just at 10 degrees. So 10 degrees is just going to maintain the 180. If we had one zone, well, then we could be a little more aggressive on it. We can have it, boost with 15 degree boost. And if we had, like 5 zones, we could have it boost all the way up like 35. So we can have it boost up quicker, all right? So, the idiot lights were indicating lights, indicate what functions are on, and they also tell us why the hell the boiler is off. So the temperature active is going to be green. High temperature is going to be amber. Low water cutoff is going to be green. And active is going to be green. Low water cutoff is going to be red. That's not good. Economy is going to be active in green. And the target is going to be in amber. We'll further tell you what those are all about. Okay. The dynamic temperature display continually displays boiler temperature. This one's going to tell you right what the hell it is. 180, right? Control continuously displays boiler temperature, indicates the control setting when adjusted, displays all the core settings When test setting button is pushed, indicates PUR when it controls in thermal purge mode, and the decimal lights on for a call for heat. The test setting for a low water cutoff test, and it's basically installed in a well. Okay? So, indirectly compatible, it has the ability, as I said, to run control limits for domestic hot water calls, indirect zone, and also in the zone mode to provide thermal targeting. It's got a 120-degree circulator hold off. It holds off the circulator until that boiler gets up to at least $120. That prevents condensation from forming in the boiler, and it saves the cast iron block.
Right.
So that way we're not feeding all kinds of cold water and then
Sure.
snap the goddamn thing. It ain't even gonna wanna be moving water to this thing until we're like, at least had our first cup of coffee being 120 degrees, right? So it isn't gonna wanna be looking to run until it gets to at least $120 for good reason. 3-function control plus universal limit, low water cutoff, and boiler reset. Okay, the outdoor temperature functionality, we have outdoor reset with this as well, without additional controls. Warm weather shutdown. We have smart domestic hot water priority. Enhanced circulator hold off, that $120. Low water cutoff manual test. And we can energize a primary circulator on a ZR call. Smart purge, and it also can be converted for use in Canada for people that like to speak French and want things in Celsius. Thermal purge is off by default, and purge is like what we were talking about with 2112. In order to be energy requirements, we have to have an ability to do this. Purges out the latent heat in the boiler to attempt to satisfy heat. It's kind of like smoke and mirrors, really. The static heat that's being contained sitting in the boiler that's gonna be all the way on a raised ranch to the second floor ain't never gonna heat that zone, you know that. So we're gonna have to drive it on. It's kind of like, one of those things. So, an internal algorithm monitors the rate of temperature decrease. It determines the latent heat will be unable to satisfy that zone all the way at the end of the house, and of course the burner is gonna fire. It'll purge down to a minimum of $1.50, and then it'll.
So what do you do to satisfy that other one? Because you have that sometimes. One side of the house doesn't get totally satisfied. What's the cause of that?
Well, you raise the water temperature up.
Right.
You go from 180 to 200.
Right.
That'd be one step. You're gonna look and make sure the damn thing ain't airbound,
Yeah.
If it's the furthest run, it's gonna be,
Sure.
it's by connected load. You mean, it depends on, if they got baseboard, you measure up the baseboard, the manufacturer rates the baseboard to have so many BTUs for 5 feet linear run, that's the BTUs get out of it. If a schmuck put, 3 feet of baseboard on this thing, and they got the outside wall with a library out there, and, a wall unit and shit, it's by what's connected load. Boiler, all my boiler is making the hot water. I can send it out whatever temperature you want me to send it out. If 180 works for you and makes everybody happy, hallelujah, we all save money and it's a good day.
Right.
If that ain't enough to satisfy that part in their zone, let's raise it up.
Right. And if that don't do it, then they did something wrong sizing the
Well, then we
radiators.
gotta look at this isn't something that's new, that just came with me in my boiler. You've been living with this shit like this in the house for years. Don't
Yeah,
tell me you haven't, because the
right.
math ferrets that out, okay? I can figure it out by doing the math. I'll measure up the connected load, and we'll see how it's piped. Hopefully, they didn't pipe some kind of short circuit in the thing where, they got the water looking to be making a choice going down the road, and it's gonna take the easiest path, the low resistance, and this is gonna flow that way to begin with. Some people will pipe short circuits in there because they don't know what the hell they're doing. Usually somebody like added a zone,
Right.
and they just teed in shit
Yeah.
themselves.
Yeah.
So
And
you
they
gotta
just
look
fucked up the
and
whole loop.
look and see how this stuff's piped.
Right.
Some handyman come in, I can add another zone over here for you and save,
Yeah.
so you gotta look at this kind
And
of
they
stuff.
ruined the whole loop.
Gotta look at that kind of stuff. then there could be some repiping that needs to be done.
Right.